Pancakes here, and joining me tonight on the stack, I have ZEKE Mercer. You can see them like I did in Paradigm or at Victory Championship Wrestling and RSW, among plenty others. Please welcome ZEKE Mercer.
Hey guys.
Hi. So we talked about this a little bit before when I first asked you if you wanted to let me talk to you tonight. And now that you're a few weeks removed from the situation, you wrestled at the Wrestle Queerdom show.
The infamous Wrestle Queerdom. I feel that's gotten like so infamous, but yet it like died down at the same time. Like holy shit, and just like it's not talked about now.
Yeah, it peaked fast and then just dropped off. Which
Rocking the wrestling.
Probably good. Like you don't want people to really linger on it, but
yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to address in regards to that show or experience? We'd heard a lot from a lot of different people about some poor experiences, just to get your take on it since you were there and I wasn't.
I mean, honestly, when I look back on it, it was kind of like a weird, like not weird, but like a unique experience where I've met all these people and now we're kind of like a little bit more bonded. Like when you think about it, it's like random group of people that I probably will not see much of. Like, not saying I want to see these people, but I love these guys. These are great people. Like, my experience was awesome. Other than what happened on the meltdown on Twitter, I mean, but generally, I think it was a good time. To me. Oh wait, let me address one thing. For the people who believe that Sally isn't real, and the whole situation is made up, I don't know where that came from. I had to read a Reddit thread about it, just because I had to see like where did I pull this from, and we have pictures of this person. You can probably see this person literally on the stream in some cases. We all met Sally, like. All of us. And like, I don't know why people think like we're all trying to make this person up. Like, you gotta understand, like, Sunny Kiss and Gigi and Giselle Shaw was there. Why would they make it up to you? Because they all say the exact same thing. We all met Sally. Like, Shy's real. And I don't know, like, I feel like that has to be said. The situation with them is being handled. If I can say that. I'm not trying to go into detail, but there's efforts to fix what happened. So I will say those two things about it literally. But other than that, I mean, I think overall it was a good experience. Sure, was it a shit show? Yes. But all wrestling shows are shit shows. I don't care if it's the WWE or MLW or all wrestling shows are shit shows. You think, like, as much as you, as wrestling fans, think to know about like how to put on a wrestling show, the best wrestling shows I promise you ever been to were a shit show backstage. I promise you, hands down. Like, hands down, the most stressful night of any person's night, and everyone else who sees on screen was like, no, that was the best show ever. You know, we'll come back here next month or next year. I was like, happens every time. I promise you. I promise you that happens. So, if anything, I would say to me it was a normal indie show. I've been in situations like that where people didn't get paid and like stuff like that. Like, I've been there. So for me, at least, I don't know, because from the area I'm from, the history we have in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh tri-state area, but like, that happens. Wrestlers don't get paid. Some people get stranded. A lot of wrestlers band together to make sure other wrestlers are back home safe. Happens all the time. Well, if not all the time, more often than you think it does. Because to me, I was like, yeah, I kind of expected that to happen. Like, literally, like, everyone, like I'm not trying to say like I feel bad, but I was kind of prepped for it to happen. That's why I rented the car, so I don't have to depend on anyone else getting me home. I was like, yeah, I kind of expect that to happen. Something like that to happen. Not saying all people are like that, by the way. I'm just experienced person going into a situation. I can't have a plan B to get home. Have to.
Fair enough. From what I, recall from Twitter and from what I've heard from people, yeah, it seems like it was kind of a mess. Wrestling, like, I think that there are a lot of people that think it's like super easy to run a wrestling show, and it totally isn't. There's so many little bits and pieces of different things that you don't necessarily think about unless you've done it. Like, I've never done it. I never want to do it. That is never going to be a thing that I do because I've worked with my local promotion for 7 years. I've seen, from
Yeah.
a, a kind of behind the scenes person how this works.
So it's,
And
you understand
no,
so you understand when I say like the best wrestling shows are shit shows backstage, but no one else will ever see it. That's like a wrestling show.
yep.
Like
It
I bet anyone $1,000 that WrestleMania, no matter what number you want to throw in front of you, was a shit show backstage. But that was probably your best WrestleMania you ever loved in your life. Like I bet I put money down. I will not lose.
either someone is not going to show, or someone is going to be late, or someone's going to pop off at the venue or the ring, or any of the thousands of other things. Your sound's not going to work right. Your video screen's going to be broken. Like, there's so
Sound system went shoddy in the first match. Happened before. Let me see. Internet crashed. Like the Wi-Fi just shut down. Like the lights randomly went off. Like I've seen all people, and to me, if everyone's like, "Oh my god, Queerdom was so like crap," like it was so janky. I'm like, but all wrestling shows are janky. Like they are. I don't care what you say. I was like, "Oh, well, my promotion is the best promotion in the area." That pretty don't have that problem. But I was like, bullshit. There's something that always happens that you don't know about.
if you don't know about it, that just means that you're not in the inner circle enough to know.
You just didn't know. You're not in business. That's fine. But I'm just telling y'all that all wrestling shows have those hiccups. And plus, if you watch that show back, y'all will be having so much fun. That show was so much fun. The fans loved it. Loved it. I don't want to hear anyone say like how many people were tagging. Like I'm sitting next to other people in that show, and all our phones are going off because of Twitter. I was like, okay, yeah, this is over. This is great.
I was busy that weekend, so I wasn't able to watch. I don't know. Is there a way to play that back?
We are currently actually working on that.
Okay.
Actually,
that was the last I heard about it as well.
There are, I think there's some ways to, if you pay for it, you can watch it back. But we're also working on it to like have it available for people to watch. So like, it's in the works right now. We like there's efforts to like actually get on a streaming platform. I can't tell you which streaming platform because they'll give it away. But for the people who know, yes, we are working on it. And I don't mean we as in me, but we as in like the concerted effort to get the thing on somewhere you can always watch it. So yeah, there's gonna be a way to watch it.
I would love to see it. When it was announced the thing, I was super excited about it because I don't want to say like I enjoy the concept, but like I enjoy a lot of the wrestlers that were on the show. I like the idea of putting trans and non-binary people kind of at the forefront, as well as other LGBTQIA talents. I like seeing more diversity in my wrestling, both in the styles and types of wrestling, but also in the people that are doing the wrestling. So I would love to be able to watch that. I have a lot of people I really enjoy around that show. So
I love that show. I'm kind of a little disappointed when I didn't get to face Richie because I was really looking forward to facing Richie. Like as much as everyone loved my match, and looking back, I had fun in that match. Trust me, I was having fun the whole time. But like I was sitting there thinking to myself as I'm pinning Element, I'm like, this is not my usual style match. Like I'm doing something I usually don't do because I have people follow my YouTube because I promote my YouTube. Like, hey, you want to see me wrestle more? Here's some matches I've had since 2018. And people are like, that's not the match that I think you would have. Because looking at Queerdom and Paradigm and anything else, like I didn't. It's such a switch. It's like, yeah, I know. It's like I know. It was the match style I usually do is not like that. It's more hard hitting. It's more fight based. And I when we were just I mean it was fun. I would say that. But we were like second match. I'm like, come on, let's have some fun. And like I'll tell everyone this because it's true. In that match, if anyone knows I'm wearing glasses in this interview, I can't see. Um, I'm not wearing contacts. Haven't worn contacts since 2019. Yeah, 2019, because my friend doing I think it was a World Storm Slam spot, knocked one contact out of my eye. Never again. Had to drive home with one contact then, because I didn't bring my glasses. So I don't wrestle with glasses, any type of vision. So the whole time when I was jumping in between chairs, literally I was trying to find a chair to sit in. Hopefully a person wasn't there, wasn't like walking into it. Literally, I'm just like saying, like, watch how I get down. Like, I'm literally putting my hand out and I'll sit.
How do you function like that?
I'm used to. Well, I did sports for so long without vision, like martial arts. I did amateur wrestling for like 7 years straight. I never had vision doing those things. So now you feel a professional, like, oh, how can you see? Like, I'm close enough to you. It's not like you're like yards away. I'm not playing football, which I've tried playing football without vision. That sucks. The best thing to do is running back. Seriously, it's like toss.
So, like, I have glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, I've had glasses since the second grade.
Right. I think it has third.
And when I take them off, I can see vague shapes and colors, and that is all.
If I take off my glasses right now, everything's blurry.
Yeah, I'm sitting like not like an arm's length away from my phone, and if I take off my glasses, there's no way I'm able to see you, other than you will contrast against your white background.
Yeah.
How do you function?
I'm trained. If you think about it, I'm a trained stuntman.
So part of your training is just like wrestling with like low visibility?
Yeah, at least for me it was. So I didn't really wrestle contacts. There was only a few days I've actually wore contacts at training, but most of the time, no contacts.
That's like a superpower.
If everyone thinks like, oh my God, that's strange, but there's a lot of wrestlers who wear glasses and they don't wrestle with glasses on or contacts. They just don't tell you.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
But like you would never, like if I told you, I did a whole match blind, you didn't believe it. I bet you like, what?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I can see enough. That's what I talk about. I can see enough.
I can see enough.
I don't need to see you. I just need to be able to tell what you're doing.
Oh, no.
If you can do it, you can do it.
I cannot.
You can do it.
Absolutely not. I wouldn't be able to walk up the ring steps to get into the ring without probably hurting myself. I'm sorry, what was that?
That walking into the ring, it won't be hard. That won't be the hard part. You like as soon as you get to the ropes, like everything's just one color now. It's like, yep, that's the canvas. Smashing against your eyes, your corneas. The ring ropes, you gotta hope they're a violent color, like blue or red. Like not black. You gotta hope they're there. Okay, I'm kidding. I can see the ropes.
Now I think you're lying to me. No, I don't think you can. I think you're trying to make me feel better.
I can see the ropes. I promise you. If you watch someone match, you like they know the ropes are there. I can see them.
You just trust that the ropes are there.
I can tell if it's gone. I would hear if the rope snaps. I would have heard it. I promise.
Oh, is it like your other senses compensate for your lack of vision?
Have you ever seen a rope snap? Have you ever heard that happen?
It's pretty noticeable.
It's pretty noticeable. I think we all know that sound. It's like every wrestler's like the most heart-wrenching sound. When a board pops up or the rope snaps, you can hear it. Promise you.
Next time I watch you wrestle, I'm gonna be that much more concerned for your well-being.
But how are they doing this? I was like coughing. I'm just feeling the vibrations of the ground. I can feel that lariat coming. Just I'm going to dodge out that one. But I can see. I can see enough to wrestle. That's all I say. If I couldn't, I wouldn't do it. I promise you, if I couldn't see anything, I wouldn't do it. But I'm just blind enough to where I'm like, yeah, that kid needs glasses. I got you concerned. Now you're like wondering.
Yeah, I am concerned. I am exceptionally concerned. Next time I see you wrestle, I'm going to be even more concerned. I'll be like, oh, this poor man, or I apologize, this poor person can't see.
But everyone knows. I had a match. And then, like, after that Cridham show, came back Sunday, because I was on the road all day Saturday, basically, and Sunday. No, I was on the road Sunday. Had no show Monday, wrestled Monday. I had to defend my belt. I'm a champion in RSW. I'm like the champion RSW.
And you just defended it with
last Monday.
Limited vision.
Yeah. And won. And won.
So, but do your opponents know that you're wrestling with limited vision?
They know. If you can't see how thick my glasses are when I meet you, you're not paying attention. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. And me and MV had a great time. That's the first episode fan is MV Young, if you heard of him.
Yes.
Yeah. So he challenged for my belt. I won limited vision.
Have a limited vision match.
It was a good match. If I get the footage, I will definitely post it on my YouTube so you guys can see that.
Saw like a clip, I think.
Oh yeah, he sent me one. I did a flip.
Yeah.
It's okay. I powerbombed him. It's all right. We're 1-1 now. I made you flip. I powerbombed you. It's even.
So now you need to have a limited vision match to decide. Oh wait, limited vision match is every match for you.
Technically.
Well, I don't even know where to go with that. Like, good luck in your future limited vision matches.
All right, I have a question for you then. Since you experienced like Gail is such an upgrade, but like, how did you guys like as fans? Because obviously, I'm assuming that you were at Tennessee, right?
Yeah, I was at SCI. Yep.
So you had to experience all this crap happening on Twitter, just as it came through. How was that? Because I was on the road when everyone was trying to text me saying, "Hey, are you okay? Where are you? Did you make it home?" I'm literally driving a 10-hour drive back to Pittsburgh, and everyone's trying to like text me, call me, and I was like, "Oh Lord." My one friend called me. Literally, I was on the road. Like, "Hey, are you all right?" No. Like, I heard what happened. I was like, "Dude, I'm literally like 5 hours from the house right now." Like, I'll call you when I get home. Like, just let me get home.
So for me, I, like a few other people kind of said, and again, probably just because I know a little bit about how wrestling shows sort of work just from kind of being around it for so long and watching people book and hearing it and knowing what it takes to set up day of show and what you all need to do it all and stuff, right? Again, I'm never going to do it. Way too much work for me. But I know a little bit more than probably the average bear just because of how I've been around it so much. So when Sally was starting to talk about doing the show and stuff, I was kind of like, how's she gonna have the money for all of this? That was like one of my first thoughts.
That, and I noticed that like because I'm contrary to popular belief, I'm not always on social media. Like the most you will get from me if you text me and I'll respond. But like if you're thinking like I'm just sitting on a timeline, just refreshing and scrolling, no. No, like I don't like. It's not. It doesn't care if it's Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever. The only time you see me sitting there scrolling is TikTok, so I can shut my brain off. But like, so like, I saw that like they were fundraising for like sponsorships, and I remember like at one point, one tier, I think it was like one of the expensive tiers, sold out. So I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, this is published. This is like a big thing. I was like, oh crap. So I could say that like I feel like they were getting a lot of sponsorships.
So I assumed one of two things. One, I assumed that Sally or whoever was the head, whoever at Transcripts, either just had like a lot of money from something,
Mm-hmm.
or they had a backer that had a lot of money from something. Because I'm like, you're flying in two international talents. Like that's a new level of like, holy crap, this is gonna cost money. Like
Yeah.
it's one thing to pay people to drive in or to fly domestically, but two, and not just two like, oh, you're coming from Canada. No. Like New Zealand is one of the like furthest countries away. Like
And
you could
Candy
hardly be further.
and Candy was right there at that show.
Right?
By the way, girl, I love you. I'm sorry, Candy. I miss you. That show, big fan of Candy now. Love her.
She is one of the people that I so wish to meet in wrestling that I have not yet. So someday, Candy. So that was my first thought. I was like, these aren't just like little flights, like these are big guys, like big guy flights. I'm like, I don't know how you have the money to pay them plus pay for lodging for these people, because you're gonna want to give them, like trans and probably send them to the hotel. So I don't know how you're paying for transportation for everybody else, plus hotels, plus like these two huge flights. I was like, somebody has to have money somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought when I pulled up to the hotel.
And then I found out that nobody had money anyway.
I was like, oof.
Much.
I mean, if I can be honest, I mean, I felt a little bit like as I was driving home, I felt a little bit like I felt used in a way. Like not in the sense like I was like in charge of anything. Like I was just a wrestler on the show. I was just here to wrestle, literally. But like when I look back, I was like, I kind of feel a little used, like in the sense of like how it happened in my situation. And I basically, because if you saw the hotel I was staying in, you're like, okay, this is a big show. Like for whatever's happening here, this seems to be important. And I remember making a joke that I told one of my friends there. I was like, when I checked into my hotel, I felt like this wasn't in my tax bracket. Like as I'm walking through the doors, like, so I'm just like, oh, okay.
I mean, she didn't even book y'all guys at like a Best Western or something. Like she booked you guys somewhere fancy.
Yeah.
Oofda.
I won't give the name, but I won't give the name of the hotel, but I would say it was above my tax bracket because I'm a college kid. So you can do with that tax bracket information if you want to. It was definitely something that I wouldn't or I couldn't afford if I went back to that same area. Yeah, I couldn't afford it.
No, I mean,
I was like, wow. Literally.
Yeah. Like if I'm going to book a hotel for people, like don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna book you at like mom and pop's budget inn or something, but like
I was in like a motel or some kind of like something. Like it would just be like something just like economic.
I would spring for like a Holiday Inn or something,
Yeah.
like
like a holiday. Like I was like,
right? Like
all right, this is kind of too fancy for me. Too fancy. He was like, I'm out of here, guys.
You're like, they wash the sheets up before every like stay, and that's like if you're gonna wash the sheets every time.
Oh, legit. It was just like, this is crazy. But no,
too bougie for me.
I mean, like I love the experience only because I truly brought like people together. and like I got some cool friends out of it. Like honestly, I really did. Like I got some really cool friends out of it. Still, like one of the best moments I've seen was when Aiden comes out as trans, and ironically enough, Aiden does that before my match. I'm super fucking happy, and I gotta go out there and be a bad guy. And I'm just like, I was like, so I got Aiden like, I love you, but you would do that shit before I fucking have to go out there. So I love you, but right now I have to get real angry real fast. Like I get real mean and real ignorant real fast. But I was legit happy. Like I was legit just like, oh, this is great. I love it. And then my match happened, and everyone. I still know why people love that match. I'm just goofing around, guys. I promise you. Like, I don't get it.
I cannot wait to see your match. I have obviously not seen it yet.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Please do.
I got my ways, I got my connections. I have my match.
I would love to see. I would love to see the whole show. Like I said, I was at SCI the whole time. So for me, it was just kind of watching it all unfold on Twitter, and just to know that like I was unfortunately correct in believing that I didn't think that Sally had money for all of this shit. But it seems like there was a good group of like y'all that were on the show that kind of bonded together to try to make sure everybody was taken care of and everything was taken care of. A lot of people really showed their best sides in how they reacted and took care of this. So
I loved it. When there's a saying, like, especially like you hear around like older heads for wrestling, that wrestling's kind of a brotherhood. And some people take that brotherhood thing like too seriously. Like they mean like my brother's keeper. It's like, no. They mean like a sense of like family, like a sense of like we're all doing this together. It's all kind of our dreams, kind of help each other. And I think that was definitely on display for that show because I feel like a lot of people helped a lot of people. Like I remember like I won't give out names, but I will say a friend after the show was like, I have to get to the airport. My flight's at like what time was it? What time was there? Fuck it. I think one was at like 5 a.m. and one was at 9 a.m. But I think both get to the airport. Like it was like legit 5 hours after the show. I couldn't sleep. And I went downstairs and they were like, hey, Uber's not picking up. I need to get to the airport. And my other friend, and another wrestler needs to go to the airport too. I was like, do you guys ride to the airport? It was like, it's 2 a.m. Aren't you tired? And I was like, I can't sleep. I ride just to get you guys there and deal with, because I don't know, I will say this with a very passion. I do not like that airport. The Massachusetts airport, wherever the heck it is next to the Celtics, that one, the Boston airport, whatever. Hate it. I hate it. I hate driving through it. I don't want to go back again. Honestly. But I got those two friends to the airport and they made their flight. And like I was just happy that happened. I got back at like the hotel like at 4 a.m. Went to sleep, got back up around like 10 something, got back on the road at 11:30 back home. It was like, yeah. And I felt great. Like I got back home and I still couldn't fall asleep.
You were too amped from like the show. You were like too amped from the show still.
I don't know. It was just I couldn't sleep. Like I don't know. It was like one of those days like just couldn't sleep that day. Like, you'd be working for hours, tired, but as soon as you crushed that threshold to your house, you're like, you know what? I can clean my own house. Like it was one of those feelings. Like it was like, oh.
Like anybody else need a ride?
Oh God. So like, I mean, like I feel like a lot of people can't do for each other. I will say definitely Aiden, Von England, and Sydney helped a lot of people. I feel like they were like kind of like around the point, making sure everyone got home. I know Cameron Saturn reached out to make sure I was good. Bandit reached out if I was good. I was just like, ooh, this is getting crazy. This one's getting crazy. But yeah, it was. I can only imagine because like my friends were calling me, trying to text me like, "Hey, are you good? Like, are you home? Yeah, are you on the road right now? Please tell me you're not trapped in the airport." Like, I got my one friend who's not like really interested. Was like, please tell me you do not get trapped in a state that you don't live in. I was like, I'm good. I'm back in PA technically, but like I'm like 4 more hours from Pittsburgh. He's like, oh, okay. But yeah.
Well, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, well, I'm glad that, you know, you were able to make it out of there mostly unscathed. Um, and I'm glad that, like, looking back on it, like, it sounds at least to me like there was more good that came out of it than bad.
Yeah, I mean, but everyone's experience, I would say, is different. I don't know what everyone was doing that day to cook. Like, if someone had completely like shit day that day, if someone had shit day that day, I wouldn't know exactly what led up to that moment. Obviously, you could say the show itself was a cataclysm of if someone had shit day or not. But for me, it felt like a normal wrestling show. That's why I tell people like to me, it was like, yeah, shade promoter, not sure you're gonna get paid. Sounds like indie professional wrestling for me. Like it really sounds like the same shit I can go to any other state and deal with. So to me, I mean, yeah, it was more of a bigger deal because we had international talent. We had some people who signed on that show. So yeah, it was more of a big deal. But like generally, just feel like, oh, this is just indie wrestling. I'm like, I want to tell you, like, this is what
Well,
happens.
the only difference is now all y'all are finding out about it. Like,
The only difference, yeah, the only difference now because it was such a um promoted show, like it was such a big deal. Um, but yeah, I mean, to me, it was just a normal show. You help people who are wrestlers. You have to have road wrestlers. It's kind of thing you have to do. If no one ever taught someone that, then they were not brought up in wrestling correctly, in my mind. Like you think he's gonna be in wrestling and not help nobody set up or give a ride somewhere. I was like, yeah, you kind of forget the whole point of wrestling. You know,
yeah.
so it's like, I don't know. That's just me.
No, there's a lot of from at least from my perspective, there's a lot of like back and forth as far as like helping people out and hopefully, you know, when you need help that they're able to return the favor someday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I wasn't like saying that like people I helping to like, oh, you owe me one, but it was just like, just pass it on. Like one of those old commercials,
Yeah.
like that was like, you just pass it on. Like help the next person down the line. I don't know. I don't know what it would be, but like it could be me, it could be a kid from across the street. I don't know. Just do something nice, you know, someone next time. Just do it. Who cares?
So moving on from Wrestle Queerdom, which again, thank you for agreeing to kind of talk about your experience with it and kind of hash it out a little bit. I know it was hot topic for a little bit,
Yeah.
and there's still pieces that are kind of catching up. So thank you for that. Moving on to you as a wrestler and a person.
Ooh,
We're gonna get personal here. What were you like as a child?
an asshole. I was very oof. I was very much a dick. Um, I still to this day have anger issues. I have anger. Like I'm just a little pent up ball of rage. I'm 5'4". I'm not even going to lie. I'm 5'4" people. I'm pretty sure I'm just a pent up bottle of rage, and I was always like that. And, I mean, I didn't really get like calmer until I started doing combat sports, sports in general. So I was like just a ball of rage. Like it was known that like it didn't matter because my dad told me martial arts when I was small too. So it didn't really matter if you're like an adult or not. If I wanted to fight you, you're gonna have to fight someone. Well, there's gonna be one of those situations. Like it didn't. I've been kicked out of school, been suspended before, kicked out of daycare centers. Yeah, like I was a little like everyone thinks like, oh, you're such a nice kid. I was like, wow, I'm working the other wrestlers. Everyone thinks I'm a nice person. I'm really not. I mean, I am, but like I wasn't known to be that way. Uh, if you ask my dad or anyone who knew me as a kid, like you're like, this kid, like it's one of those situations. Like, you don't know what happened. He just straightened out. I was like, I'm calmer now. I got my anger out. Body slams work, guys. I don't know. But as a kid, I was always just angry. And wrestling was just in wrestling for me. Ironically enough, I didn't watch it on TV as a kid. The reason I got into wrestling, and this is 100% honest, because if you give me enough time, I can probably still find it. But what got me into wrestling is the game SmackDown versus Raw 2008. I never played before. My stepbrother's brother brought it to the house one day and said, "Hey, you like arcade games such as Need for Speed. You're going to love an arcade game such as this wrestling game." And it came out that year because it's 2007. It's out. It's already out. So like, he's like, bam, let's play this game. That's how I got into wrestling.
That's interesting.
That's how I got into Seven Dust. That's how I got into like more mellow music. Like that game was like a cap. I like 25% of my personality. Like, and if you give me some time, I'm pretty sure it's in one of these boxes up here in the closet. I still have the game, the case with the CD in it, because it's like that is just, even though it's a 360 game, I still keep it. I was like that is personal history for me. That got me into wrestling. And the game still works. I checked it out. It still works. Still moves.
So, what made you decide to pursue wrestling? Like, if you first got into it in 2008, I don't know how, or 2007, I don't know how old you were then. I'm sure that will frighten me as an old person.
7 to 8 years old. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I'm young.
Yep. Just felt my hip give out.
Yeah. That's normal, by the way. Everyone used to say like, "Fuck you, Zeke," and everyone found out my age when I was still starting wrestling. But what made me pursue wrestling? I was in high school wrestling. I was at our team's championship in Hershey, Pennsylvania, because all like the amateur wrestling championships are held in Hershey. I was in that stadium and I was like with my friend who knew I loved professional wrestling, who knew I loved like that stuff. And I looked at him and I was like, "I want to wrestle here." He said, "But you are wrestling here." I was like, No. I want to wrestle here. And he's like, "Oh, okay. I get what you're saying." And like from that on, I was like, "Yeah, I want to be a professional wrestler." Like, because that stadium is like insane to be in. If I get to wrestle in that stadium at least one day, I was like, "Yeah, my life is kind of full circle." But from there, I was like, "Yeah." And then I went to my first indie show in 2017 that same year. Yeah. Not my first wrestling show. I've been to a WWE show. It was in 2011. It was when Punk was still champion. It was in Jackson, Mississippi. Main event was Punk versus Miz for the WWE Championship. Yeah, right? Punk versus Miz. So that was my first wrestling show ever. My first indie show was in Wheeling, West Virginia, actually. Ironically enough. My dad worked for the building, the venue, basically. He got it for free. I got it for free. He's like, come to a wrestling show with me, dude. The rest is kind of history. Half people on that card I've either wrestled or met nowadays, or good friends with now.
Indie wrestling is so much, like, for me anyway, like it's so different than like going to like a WWE show.
Oh yeah. I was never thought me going to a wrestling show. I'll end up wrestling so many people. Like I would tell people, my first ever indie wrestling show was IWC, High Stakes. IWC is a promotion in Pittsburgh, but they did a show in Wheeling, West Virginia. And it was High Stakes 1. So people like Keith, I met Jackson Argos. I think Warlow was there at the time because IWC was Warlow's home. Britt Baker, yeah, she was there. Frost at the time wasn't wrestling, but her husband Benjamin was. I've either wrestled or became friends with or seen regularly with half the people on that show. I've like literally met all of them, and some of them still remember me.
Aww.
Oh yeah, I remember you was that kid that liked wrestling. Now you're in business. I'm like, yeah, like wow, like wow. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like one wrestler was like, "Yeah, I remember you was with your dad." Yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh man. So like, that's my first indie wrestling show, and then like 9 months later, I tried out. Not at that school, a different school, but I tried for wrestling, and I got in, and 9 months later from that, I had my first professional wrestling match at the age of 18. Literally, what happened?
I mean, it's cool that you were able to find a place to train and that you're able to wrestle people that you know were able to see on your first indie show.
Yeah, that's to me, that's like crazy to me. But like, it's just like, yeah, I mean, like, it's not like the only person that's ever happened to, but to me, it's like, oh, it's kind of wild. Like, went to a show in 2017. 2 years later, I kind of like met almost everyone. But then 4 years later, it's like, oh, I've met everyone. I was like, I've met everyone, shook hands, everyone, and they're like, yeah. Like, I remember you. I was like, oh, that's that.
Aww.
Okay. But cool, but also kind of sad at the same time.
So, who has had the most influence on you both in and out of wrestling?
I don't know. I mean, I know how people feel about Punk now, because right now it's like the whole John Moxley versus Punk feud right now for the time step. Kind of, I know it's coming out later. For the time step, it's like Punk versus Moxley, but I love Punk, but only because he stood out as an individual, not like a gimmick. Like he was someone that you connect to, even though he's like, for example, he's like, what's it called? He's like drug free. He doesn't drink and all that. Like, sure, I'm not like no drinking and all that, but like I connect that being in that room with the only person who has that belief system. But I can connect that like that type of people trying to hold me down because I don't look a certain way or I don't kiss ass. Like I like he connected me with that. I love that character. I love how he stood up for himself. I also love Jay Lethal because he was just very entertaining. Um, Ironically enough, as much as everyone loves Jeff Hardy, I was more of a Matt Hardy fan. I don't know why. I always felt like Matt Hardy was like the GOAT and no one like wanted to believe me, especially as a kid. Everyone's like, no, Matt's not that cool. It's like, oh no, Matt's pretty cool. Cool. And like, I don't know, like it's hard to say who influenced me. I guess like a combination of wrestlers, just people in general. It is.
So, what do you see as your future in wrestling?
I have no idea. That's the best part. My friends would tell you that like when I got into wrestling, because I'm still in college, I started college a couple years ago. I was saying to them, I was like, I don't know, because I was a freshman at the time. I was like, I don't know if I graduate college and not just pursue my whatever degree, career, whatever, and not do wrestling, or just do wrestling. And I looked back from that time, I was like, from my standpoint at that point, I felt like I was more going to lean to the college side. Now, I would say I'm more lean to the wrestling side, even though both options are still on the table for me. Nothing's happened. I'm still in school, guys. I will graduate next spring. Grades are good. I promise you. For anyone who's like, oh my God, they're dropping out. No. I like wrestling a little bit more. From this standpoint, I felt like wrestling will give me more something to look back on when I'm like older. I don't plan to wrestle forever. I know that. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm going to wrestle until the wheels fall off. I'm good. As soon as the wheel pops, I'm going to be like, all right, guys, maybe we should slow down. But I mean,
You're not going to Ric Flair die in the ring.
No, I'm not going to do that. But like, I may wrestle to like, I tell people like, well, since I started at 17, technically retiring at like 29 is not like a dumb thing. Because that'd be more than 10 years of me like moving from a child to like a 30-year-old. I think someone like, all right, yeah, you've been wrestling for a good while. So you could pack it up, pack it in, or whatever. But I don't know, my future in wrestling seems unclear, but like what Queerdom showed me, honestly, was that if I get in front of that right crowd and the right audience, I can just blow up. Like I was a nobody on Twitter. I'm still a nobody on Twitter. I would still say that. And Twitter ain't real. Twitter ain't shit, I promise you. But like when I say like all I did was have fun with the crowd, and then all of a sudden 100 plus notifications, people were tagging me, people following me. I jumped over 170 subscribers under a 12-hour period. I was like having like managing 500 or something. Now I'm like 726. Like it's just like even if like, oh, that's not much, but for me and my local area and like work, like that's kind of a big thing. I have more eyes watching me. And I Twitter is like professional wrestling now. Professional wrestling is going through Twitter, let's be honest. The more eyes you who are following you, the more things you can promote, the more opportunities you get. So even if that was like, oh, well, Twitter was a shit show, I was like, yeah, but like a lot more people are watching me, a lot more people like talking about me, a lot more promotions have followed me. I've gotten opportunities from just because of this. Like it's I would say wrestling looking pretty bright right now. I'm going to continue as long as I can. I won't say I would do it forever because I've been doing it quite a long way. And I'm already 22 years old, 23 in a couple months. And by the time I graduate college, I would already have 5 years in the business. So, I mean, like, yeah. And no one thinks that. Everyone's like, yeah, you're like 22, you probably got like 2 years. I'm like, no. You got a year? No. I was like, I wish. No, I got a couple. I'm almost at that 5-year mark already. I'm just like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while now. So I think I'm going to continue wrestling until like something like more of a movie villain-esque backstory happens and I have to like leave wrestling. That's how I feel right now. Like something has to happen. Like, I don't know. Like I was working being a bad guy, chip fell, tore my ACL, I cried for the fans, and I just can't get back in the wrestling ring. That's my fatal human flaw. I have to get over that. Like that would be my Fox Catcher movie. Like
can't get back in the wrestling ring unless you're crying.
Right.
You just like, cry during your matches.
Cried my way in. I don't know. It has to be something like that. It won't be just like, well, I got a stinger. It's like, no, I'll get back in there. It's fine.
So, what has been your greatest achievement in wrestling so far? And that can be whatever you feel that is. If that was like a specific match or opponent that you may have had, if that was a title that you've won, whatever you view as your greatest achievement.
My greatest achievement, I feel right now, is like a combination of things, a couple of factors. One, I won the RSW title. It's a RSW Real She Wrestling. It's a company in West Virginia. Won that main title at the age of 21. I still have it. I haven't lost it. It's been a year. It was like almost a year now because August or September will be a year. So I had that thing for almost a year. I remember in training, some people are like, well, I don't see you as a championship until you could be like, mid-card guy, basically the D. Bryan story. Like some people literally say like, oh, well, I don't think you can ever be a heel. I don't think you can ever be champion. Like you probably won't be a champion for long. And here I am in the year 2021, 2022, having a year-long championship reign. All my matches are fucking fun to watch and they're fun. And everyone who's worked me for that belt has had fun working me. And literally, because I have from one opponent recently, I've been invited out to another promotion to do that same match for him again. So, I've had this crazy streak of just good matches in my mind. Also, I will also say my greatest achievement, along with being a champion for almost a year, was being a babyface champion in a company in West Virginia where how West Virginia is. Let's be honest, it's one of those God-fearing states. And they cheer their asses off for a Black queer Satanist like no other. And it's like crazy. And it's not like I hide it. I don't try to like play it up to like everyone sees my nail colors are different. I get different colors every time I freaking wrestle there, I feel like. And I wear my pentagram. My pentagram's on the wall right here if I take it down. And like if you don't know I'm queer, do you really know ZEKE Mercer? Like, yeah, everyone kind of knows I'm queer. Like, it's well known. So like, everyone like knows like this flag and other stuff is like hanging in my car. Like people know, like, and then like they will cheer for me. You know, it's crazy. I think that like even in West Virginia, people are like that connection I made with them. Like you wouldn't think that person's the babyface champion. And no, and like, a lot of people are like, well, he can't be babyface. And then like I walk out there from entrance and they're like, oh yeah, they're over. I'm like, oh, they're over. They love Zeke. And like, yeah. But yeah, I feel like that combination of things is my greatest achievement. It's because like it's so, to me, out of pocket that happened. Like those combinations, winning a championship because I never thought I would, a singles one anyway, having it for a year and also becoming a baby face in such like a conservative area. And people know who I am. And it's just like, it worked. I don't want to tell you.
So, if you had an action figure of yourself and it was one of the speaking action figures, what would you want it to say and what accessories would it come with?
Dude, I have no idea. People buy my t-shirts. I'm still like about that. And you're talking about an action figure. I have no idea. Like what I have no catchphrases. I don't. Everyone's like, yeah, but show them Mercy with your catchphrase. Like, yeah, just because I say it doesn't mean it's a catchphrase. Catchphrase has to be catchy. They're not that catchy. Accessories, I have no idea. Maybe some glasses, maybe just the jacket I come out with, maybe like adjustable wristbands. I wear something different on my wrist almost every time. Like for a while, like I was wearing my friend Scarlett, the wrestler. She's like sometimes I wore her bracelet. Sometimes I wore wrestling over everything or wrestling. Like I had that bracelet on. I think at Queerdom when I do the whole wrestling, it's literally the wrestling over everything bracelet. Like that's what I'm talking. Like I just wear random things, or I don't know. I wouldn't know what to. That's like they should never put me in charge of action figures. I wouldn't know what to put on mine. Like yeah, well, everything is cool. Everything people like. Ask the fans. They know they like. Ask them. Like I don't know. I don't view myself as like an action figure person. I was like, I mean, like I said, I still think it's crazy people buy my t-shirts or want a picture of me. That's crazy. Like, I was like, no, that doesn't happen. And then I sell merch or I sell t-shirt, I always run out something. Don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, that's a good problem to have, right?
It is,
Like,
but it's still like for a person who wasn't like I wasn't popular in high school. I was well known because I was the person who spoke their mind. But like, you tell me people want to see me wrestle. First of all, want to buy merchandise from me, and want to take pictures of me. That is a wild concept from a kid from Jackson City. Okay, like really random. So like, I'm still sometimes get used to it. Sometimes people people have noticed me outside, but like in public before. That has shaken me before. I've never experienced that. Like I've never had that. Like, oh yeah, you're Zeke. I'm like, how do you know me? Like, and I remember, oh yeah, they're like, oh, it's probably because of wrestling. Literally, happened at Walmart. Happened when I went to the gym. Happened when I was in Pittsburgh one time randomly. Just people, fans recognize. I'm not saying you people can't say hi to me. By the way, I'm just saying you gotta understand. As a Southern kid, I'm not used to just people saying, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know you." I'm like, "Oh."
like, oof, from what? No.
Oh, yeah, right. From what? I'm like, I don't. Well, action figures, I wouldn't know what to do. I'm like, you guys just ask the fans what they want at that point. I was like, I couldn't tell you not one damn thing is gonna be accurate. Couldn't tell you.
Well, you mentioned Wrestling Over Everything. Big shout out to Wrestling Over Everything. Love them over here at the Stack and on the Bald Monkeys Network as a whole. Love Wrestling Over Everything. So shout out Wrestling Over Everything.
Love them. The great peoples.
Yes. Would you rather go back in time and wrestle yourself for your first match or go forward in time and wrestle yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now. 5 years from now. as much as I can't. I was like a crap wrestler back then. I was just new, like just new. Like you can definitely tell, just new. But like I feel like I'm way better now. I feel like a lot of people are like impressed that like I didn't go to the normal channels of getting like better. It's kind of just like I put my nose to the grindstone and it's kept getting better. And now again, it's like, God damn, kid. So like, and I feel like if I keep, doing that and like in 5 years' time, fuck, I'd be scared now. Cause I remember one wrestler told me, Tony Johnson, I love him. He's seen him at Rise, sometimes in Ohio. And he literally was like, yo, you're like one of my favorite indie wrestlers. He's like, why? It's like you're literally a small, well, he said dude, I think dude is gender neutral, but some people digress. You're a small dude who does not who does not do like lucha stuff. Like you can't, I've seen it, but you don't. All you do is throw hands. You're 5'4", and all you do is throw hands, boots, elbows. Like you just strike people. It's good. It's so interesting to see that. So I was like, oh, so that's why people like me. Because I'm like this little short stack, ironically enough. I'm like, people just like, yeah, fuck it. It's just, I got people connect to that. I was like, I didn't think no one connect to that. Because in real life, I wouldn't jump around. Like, in real life, I wrestle more like a heavyweight. Like all my feet, I know jiu-jitsu, I know wrestling, I know karate, taekwondo. I wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna flip around and now I'll actually fight people. I've told people like I'd rather face someone who's bigger than me than someone with my size. People my size are dangerous. People bigger than me, like, all right, I'm not scared of them. Honestly, look. I'd rather face some person who's 6'2", 240 pounds, like I have a fair chance. If Natasha Romanoff, not Scarlett Johansson, if Natasha Romanoff, who's like a solid 5'6" in comics, rolled up to me, he's looking for a fight, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose flat out. Not even because not because she's a Black Widow. It's because we're the same size. I'm gonna lose. I'm not used to that. I'm gonna lose, hands down. If oh my God, Bruce Lee was 5'4", I'd be over. I can't fight him. He's too small. Wait, what we do? He had the same gas ticket, but same moveset at this point. He's going to win.
I mean, I'm 5'4",
and I'll lose.
But I'm an absolute weenie hut junior. I am like weak with no strength. I'm just like a big soft squishy girl. Like you could easily kick my ass if you wanted to.
All it takes is one goozle and a choke slam. Can't feel my spine. That's how it happens. just on the ground, like, oh damn, I didn't expect that one.
What is the wrestling word that you use most outside of wrestling?
Gimmick. I use gimmick every day for absolutely no reason. My coworkers at my shoot job do not know what I mean by gimmick.
You can figure it out from contextual clues.
No, they get that, but they're just like, because I will say something like, can you hand me that gimmick over there? And they're like, what? that gimmick over, I'm used to talking about like a hanger or a little box cover, but I'll just say gimmick. Like I know what it is. I'm just too lazy to say it. My brain was like gimmick. And I cannot break it. I do it on my dad, I do it on my mom, I do it on my little sister and brother. Like it's just, I can't break it, guys. I don't know. It's just something about the word gimmick is just too fluid. And it just comes through like way too easy. Like anything and anyone can become a gimmick. The car can be a gimmick. The car itself is a gimmick. How it runs is a gimmick.
You can have a gimmick. You can be a gimmick. There's gimmicks over there.
Yeah.
It can be a person, place, or thing. It's literally any noun.
That and the word heat. I'll say heat. If I hear something like a good burn, like Kelso or some show say burn, I just say, oh, heat. And no one was like, what the like everyone's like, what does that mean? It's like, if you're a wrestling man, you understand it. But now, like if my coworker says something like a good burn, like a good comeback, I'm like, ooh, that's heat. And I was like, what? my brothers do all the time. I was like, oh, they got heat with each other. They're like, and my mom's like, what does that mean? Oh, wrestling. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Those are the two words I use often. Like heat and gimmick. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just too fluid. Like those words they fit so well in the common language.
That's
They
fair.
really. Next time, now I said it, that you don't say it. Anyone to follow anything, you don't say they have heat. Watch. You don't say it just because I said it. You're like, oh, damn, that's ZEKE Mercer kid. Fuck me up. Killed me.
Like, because, so like you said, like I've been helping out my local for like 7 years, doing kind of whatever they need me to do. Work the gimmick table, work doors, whatever. And all my friends now are wrestling related in some way. Mine is always like, oh, that popped me.
Oh, pop. Yep, I say it all the time. But it's mostly in a text conversation. Like I said, someone be roasting or something's funny. Even with friends who are not wrestling, I'll just type in capital letters, P-O-P. And everyone's like, what does that mean, dog? And I'll laugh even louder when I don't get it. I'm like, oh, pop. I can't stop. Like, just, oh, man. Like, this is how it happens. This is the codification of ZEKE Mercer. I'm just gonna start using everyday wrestling like lingo in wrestling. Just throw it in there. Gimmick, heat, cut off. It's gonna be bad.
That and like shoot and work are other ones that I use. It's like
Shoot
instead of being like, oh, are you for real? I'm like, oh, is that a shoot?
Are you being a shoot right now? Oh my god, yeah, I do it all the time. It's crazy. Like it's just it flows too well. You hear it so much in conversation, you cannot think of another word for it. There is nothing else that's going to replace the word shoot that makes any sense to what you actually meant. Gimmick is anything, and heat just perfectly describes any situation when two people do not like each other. That is just how it is. I cannot. They just have heat. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they mad at each other? Fuck it. I don't know. They just have heat. They don't like each other. You can't say other way about it. No. I don't know. I'm right with you. I can't stop. I can't stop.
At least you're a wrestler. Like I'm not even a wrestler, and I've simply just absorbed it.
Yeah, you're in the circle. It's just how it is.
Terrible.
It's funny to be like that. That lingo is just hilarious. Cannot stop using it. And I think I'll probably like have to go cold turkey to speak like a normal person again. But I can't be around wrestling and then speak normal. I can't not speak ex Carney, I guess. I don't know. Like I don't know. I can't help it. I just don't know.
That's fair. So when you already talked about how you have some drives to get to different venues and wrestlings. So what do you listen to when you're on the road?
Douche. Depends. I think the longest trip, like I said, has been Queerdom. Yeah, Queerdom was the longest trip because I was supposed to ride with someone, but that didn't work out. It was a mixture of podcast, comedy. I love comedy. The raunchier, the better. So yes, big fan of George Carlin. I love him. Music, big music, but not what you would think. Deftones has got me through some long periods of driving. Rap music keeps me focused. Mellow music keeps me mellow, ironically. But I can't play mellow music too long or I fall asleep. Mellow music is my like calming music. Like the grungier, the heavier, the better. I'll just fall right asleep. But rap music, man, it keeps me going. Like I don't know. It could be R&B. It just keeps me awake. But as soon as I hear someone like scream, like guttural screaming to the mic, I'm like, oh, this is so relaxing. Like, so calming. Like this, yes. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Look, I feel bad for my rental because I blasted almost everything I could. Everything. That poor car had to have listened to like 6 different genres of music. because I just hit the shuffle button. It's horrible. Horrible. We're talking about like it goes from like Knox Loose to Jonas Brothers to Lil Wayne, Drake, maybe Attila, and then Dying Fetus, and then like it just jumps around. It's just like that's poor speakers. It was probably getting tested out. I got some like funk songs, like they're like these like electronic, like what's popping on TikTok almost like this little electronic beat type of music. I have that stuff. I was like, it's just whatever keeps me going, honestly. But music is most likely what keep me going. I love music. It's better for
What
me.
are your what podcasts do you listen to?
Depends. Ironically enough, I still like the Joe Rogan podcast because I view it as two middle-aged idiots at any given time who are either drunk or high and are making any sense. And I find it hilarious. That's why I don't try to listen to like the most political stuff, but like literally it's Joe Rogan, who is a comedian. And I get people who hate me for it, or like not hate me, but they judge me for it. I accept it. But like I know Joe Rogan, not know, but like I would say when he said like I'm usually fucking around most of the time, I really do believe that because I don't believe anything that man says. He's trying to make me laugh. like I don't like if he would have said, yeah, man, the sky's falling down tomorrow and the stock market is going to be super fucking high. And for some reason, we're always going to go into a recession anyway. Even he could be 100% right. And I'd be like, yeah, man, it's not. He's Joe Rogan. He's lying. He's not. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. It's Joe Rogan. It's Joe Rogan. Like, like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, I thought that was the whole gimmick of. That was the whole gimmick of Joe Rogan. Like, and everyone was just like watching them. I listen to Wrestle Talk a lot as for a podcast. I like them. Same as Cultaholic. I didn't get into more. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, ironically. I kind of listen to the same one. I just listen to everything. I might want to listen to everything. I mean, like, even listen to like part of like Jim Cornette's podcast, because I feel like as much as we praise wrestling today, we need some people to critique it. And who else hates everything but Jim Cornette? Like, no, I'm not dishing, like, I'm not trying to hail him. I think he's smart and whatever. I mean, I don't agree with everything he says. There's some things I'm just like, you know what? That makes sense. You know what? You got a point there. But same when I watch Wrestle Talk and they love everything. I'm like, okay, I got a point there. Like, I just like listen to both sides usually. It keeps you balanced. To me, it keeps you balanced. You gotta listen to the positives and negatives. If you don't, you'll never get how I listen to wrestling. I don't know.
That's fair. I don't listen myself to a lot of wrestling podcasts. There are very few that I care to listen to. I listen to weird podcasts. So,
hey, don't feel bad. I love the SCP Foundation. That whole thing got me hooked, and I will gladly say that shit got me hooked. It got me so hooked. I got my little siblings hooked on it, and we all love SCPs. I'm like, my partner's little brother love SCPs. I'm like, oh, perfect. We're gonna become best friends. Like, I was like, yes, that is like it wasn't a Joe Hendry, it wasn't anything that creepypasta's SCPs. If we can talk about SCPs, yes. But like, I don't know. They're podcasts. I don't really judge people for them. Unless it was like Andrew Tate podcast, I'm judging majorly. It's personal.
I've only recently learned who that person is. So.
Right? Like this. Okay.
I'm an old woman. Like I don't have time for that.
I'm just not like social media for like savvy. That's what I'll say. Ironically, like I'm not like.
I am on Twitter a lot, but I have curated my timeline in such a way that I am absolutely not afraid to block or mute any motherfucking body.
Oh,
so I have thousands of accounts blocked. Like if I see someone popping off on a tweet that has nothing to even do with me, but I just look at it and be like, this person has shitty opinions, I'll just block that motherfucker preemptively. Like I don't even want to see that ever. Like you look like you caused trouble. Nope.
Looks like you don't touch grass. Let me just block you.
right? Oh, it appears as though you've never been outside. Interesting. Block.
Oh man, Twitter is funny because Twitter's a cesspool, but like I think it's funny when everyone's like, I mean, I don't judge anyone who blocks or mutes anybody or any keyword, but like I really think the most empowering thing is that there's a thing called the refresh button. If you just tap it, you'll probably never see that tweet ever again. So like,
yeah.
oh, that was ignorant. Refresh. I don't need to do that no more.
Oh no, see, mine's like that was ignorant. Let me make sure I block that person. Let me make sure I mute this hashtag so I never see this shit ever again.
Dude, that's great. I was just like, I was like, I don't care that much. Like, I was like, I don't care that much. I just scroll up and scroll down. I'll whatever. It doesn't. I'll download it if it's like an option. Like, like I was like, okay, like you're done for that. Like I remember this one tweet was like, if you knew a wrestler's shoot name, would you call them by their wrestler's shoot name? I was like, and I retweeted, and I was like, wherever name they give you, that's the name you call them, or him or her. Like everyone's like, but what if you know shoot name? It does not matter.
So
if they tell you this is the name, like, hey, my name is Z or Zeke. There's two names I'm okay with giving people. You know, that's the names you call me. I don't care if you know how to pronounce or see my shoot name. I'm like, I'm sorry, this is the name I want you to call me.
Yeah, I love when that seems like that pops off every now and again. That discussion where it's like, what do you call people? I'm like, honestly, like I've presented that question before. Like, do you like, because of me, not on my life will I call a wrestler by their shoot name. I don't even call my legit friends by their shoot names half of the time.
Got nicknames, bud. Got nicknames.
Right? I was like,
there's nicknames and sounds and this, and we always got something. It's just like, I don't know. And then I would tell people this, like, if you really think it's cool to call any wrestler by their government name, you are that guy who decided to heckle an actual funny comedian. That's what you look like. When everyone's having fun, and you're like, that joke sucks. And I'm like, you look stupid. You look stupid. Like, that joke wasn't stupid. Like, that joke didn't suck. Everyone in the room's laughing, having fun, except for you. You seem like you have a bad time. What's going on at home, buddy? You getting love at home? That's how I feel. Like, you're just looking for attention. Like, it's not cute when people post on Twitter or Reddit, Sasha Banks comes out, I'm like, oh my gosh, Mercedes. I'm like, shut up. That's not the name they want to be called. You look stupid.
right?
Or people who are like, I refuse to call a WWE wrestler by their Fed name. I only will call them by their indie name. And you look even more stupid. For example, I saw someone who only refers to Apollo Crews as U-Haul Nation, it was their name on the indies, right? But it's not their name no more. So you over here say, oh yeah, U-Haul was on SmackDown, and everyone's like, who the fuck is that? When they get a new wrestler, you look kind of stupid. Like, I'm just saying. Like, you want to say, oh, Apollo Crews go by U-Haul, that's why I call him U-Haul. I was like, yeah, but no one calls him that. Like, you can't come up with like a common name, like we all call him, I don't know, Apollo.
Right? I don't get it. Like, I guess like for me, even like Ethan Page, like he's played by Julian. Everyone knows his actual first name is Julian.
Right.
I'm never going to call him Julian. No. Not on my life.
I don't care. Dude, if your name is, whatever your name's on your Twitter, as long as like your actual work name, I will call you by your work name. Because I don't know what fan or what fans around to hear that. Because you could just let it slip once. And that one fan's going to hear it. And it's all it takes is that this person's name is this. It's over. And it's just like,
now you have some weirdo showing up to your house,
or like, email, or coming to your show after your match, so you just wrestle for like 15 minutes, and they're like, "Oh, hi, shoot name." Like, what? I know people who fight. Like, you might want to not do that. Like,
excuse me.
Don't do that. I was like, just call people by the name they want you to call them by. They want you to call them Sasha or whatever. Ethan. Just don't argue. I don't know why you want to argue that. You're not their mama. You're not their daddy. Just call them what they want to call you. Like, who cares?
That's just really a lesson to take to your everyday life.
Oh yeah.
Just call people by what they tell you to call them.
Not hard. And I get it. Like people like because I know we like pronouns is like to me pronouns are hard only because they're new in culture. Like my friend Sword, like sometimes he will refer to me as he. Like if people are like, oh well, Sword, he's not much of a good friend. They're misgender. He's like, you gotta understand, Sword has known me since I was 17 and sis. I'm now 22 and non-binary. Like Sork has known me a good while. Like it's okay if he fucks up. Like it's okay. He knew me since I was a kid, technically. Like I'm an adult now. Like yeah, I get it. Like for some people, they just never call me that or use those pronouns. I'm not here to sit here and like cancel them for it. Like I know. Like I get some people like pronouns are like yes, they're hard line, it's their boundary. But for me, if you knew me for a while, look, it's okay. You knew me since I was X amount of age. It's fine. But like, I guess if a random person purposely misgendering me, I'd be mad. But that's the difference, is intent. Like, it happens all the time. People get misgendered all the time. Because some people just don't know pronouns. Some people just don't know. It happened at Queerdom. I think Eddie accidentally said he instead of they. And people were trying to jump on Twitter. And Eddie came on to me, running over me. I was like, you okay? He's like, oh, why? I'm sorry, I didn't know your pronouns was they, them. I was like, yeah, I didn't know you was on commentary. I'm sorry. Like, I usually tell commentary if my pronouns. I didn't know it was going to be put on commentary, like, at all. So, like, he's like coming over to me trying to, like, apologize. And I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, you didn't know? I didn't know. Like, I don't know who got to you, but I'm not mad at nobody. I didn't even know what happened.
You're like, I was wrestling. I couldn't even hear commentary.
I went the whole night without telling. I would have never known. Never know. Like it's not that, to me, it's something to do, especially if you didn't know. But if you knew and you did that intentionally, that's where the problem lies. That's when you become a jerk. So hopefully that message spreads across indie wrestling. Sometimes people get misgendered. Some people get called the wrong name in wrestling. It happens more often than you think. And like, and sometimes you just gotta be like, all right, I fucked up and just move on. That's it. That's all you gotta do. I promise you.
I mean, I can't speak for that really, because I am cisgendered, use she her pronouns like one would mostly expect me to use. But I will say that I like before I talk with anybody like on air, like on the podcast or whatever, if they don't have it in their Twitter, or if I don't specifically know that just from like knowing that person, I always ask. Right. Because the last thing I want to do is misgender somebody throughout an entire interview. And I did earlier, and when we were talking, I think I called you man, and immediately I was like, oh no. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's just okay. It happens. Like, it's still new. Like, pronouns are still new to people. Like, it takes like 5 to 10 years for culture to settle, right? Like, tits was a cool word to say in the 90s. It's been 20 years since the 90s. It's out of culture now. Now, if you would just written to me and said tits, I was like, where? Not thinking you said cool. Or like tits, like, why would you say tits out loud? Like, that's kind of weird. But back in the 90s, when we said tits, that meant awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Like, in a couple of years, poggers is going to be old and no one's going to know what you mean by that. Because poggers been around for 11 years now, technically. So that's going to fade out of culture and no one's going to know what you mean by that. It's still new. So, like, I was like, guys, it's still new. Who cares?
I think, at least from my perspective, just trying to normalize it as a thing so that it is more pervasive in culture is kind of like, that's why I have my pronouns on my Twitter bio, because I think it's important to normalize seeing it and asking it and respecting what people wish to be called.
Right. And that takes time. It's going to take some years, unfortunately. Nothing happens over just the course of a month or a year. sorry, Michael Jackson just didn't become famous 1 year and stuck around. Like, no, that cat made hits for 20 years and became a staple in the US. That's how it happened. Like, it just happened. It's like, I don't know. That's how I view it. It's still new. We shouldn't get too, quote unquote, anal about it because sometimes people just don't know. Sometimes people just need the whole story to get what's going on. And I think a lot of people just ready to like jump on anyone who just makes a mistake nowadays on wrestling Twitter. God forbid you make a mistake as a human.
Yeah. There are some things that some people take too seriously, and there are some things that people don't take seriously enough. Right. And it's weird how one thing can just like set people off on a tangent. But Twitter is like that sometimes.
That's why I say Twitter is fake. Twitter is fake. I'm sorry. And I will say this: half the things, the horrible things people say on Twitter, they will never say to you in real life. Keep that in mind, wrestlers. Keep that in mind. Anyone who does anything show business or half the shit people say to you online, they will never say to your face.
Yep.
And right now from experience, like people will not say that to your face at all because they know. They know. They're not the good guy in that. They don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to fight you. They don't want to be chewed out in public. They can say wherever they want behind the username. We have a block button, or you can hit the refresh button, or you can just let them be destroyed by the Twitter mobs that actually support you. So I mean, you have options here. But I'm just saying, like, none of that shit really matters. It's just Twitter. Guys, let's get a grip. Let's go touch some grass. Go pet a dog. Drink some water. We'll be fine. Twitter's not real.
So when you're on the road, what are your like go-to snacks? Like I'm a snack gal. I'm Snackosaurus Rex. So what are your go-to like either like after a show, like what are your snacks?
After a show, I really don't eat. I try to eat something. I have to because I don't eat hours before a wrestling show, only because of amateur wrestling. But afterwards, I want a burger. That's the first thing I want. I want something. I want a burger, and it's bad. Like I want to get it bad. Well, actually, funny story after Paradigm taping that you've seen yet. The joke was backstage between me, Shogun, Alex Kane, a couple of people, Trevor Aeon too. I was like, guys, I want some goddamn Waffle House. And everyone looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, what? They're like, some people were like, what's Waffle House? Is that good? I was like, is that good? Like, that's the best thing to eat at 4 o'clock in the morning when you're sloshed. That is the recovery of many billionaires nowadays. It's Waffle House. What are you talking about? They're like, I've never had it. Like Trevor knew what it was, but he was like, I can't believe you were craving Waffle House. I'm like, what's wrong with Waffle House? What's wrong? There's fights there. I was like, oh, I get a dinner and a show for $15. Man, what? God, I can mind my business. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but like, I'm pretty good at it. Like I can just sit there, eat my waffle as the fried cook gets in an argument with the waitress. I don't even care. As long as my food is served to me and not spat on, I don't care.
It's a low bar, but
like I'm from the South. We Southern people, we know how Waffle House is, and there's only one reason why we go to Waffle House because it's gonna wake us up. It's gonna wake us up. If you don't believe years to visit my grandparents after we got off the plane, after all day of traveling, was the first place we go to. Not my grandparents' house. No, Waffle House. Because it's gonna wake everybody up. No one's gonna be lethargic, and we're gonna be just like, all right, we can't carry on the day. I got back to my hometown. Well, I got into Washington, Pennsylvania, and my friend Bria, who never went to a wrestling show, let alone outside the state much. I said, girl, we gotta try this Waffle House. And she said, oh, I never had Waffle House. I was like, awesome. You're gonna love it. We got there at 8 a.m. Fresh in the morning. And she's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, let's sit down, look at the menu, order something. And she was like, man, it's not gonna taste good. Like, it's gonna taste wonderful. I haven't paid for the meal, but it's gonna taste wonderful. And we was already tired, which is key. You gotta be tired. Gotta be tired. Some way, somehow. Gotta be tired. And you just gotta be hungry. I swear to you, that food came down and she took the first bite, she looked at me as if I just gave her like crack. But she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, keep eating. And she just devoured the plate. I was like, yeah, because it's good, ain't it? She's like, I've never had this before. I was like, you can only have this in certain situations. It's so good. Waffle House is so good. I used to be a Denny's person. I'm a Denny's guy. But one time I got food poisoning from Denny's. I'm not trying to talk shit on Denny's. I got food poisoning on Denny's. 2 days later, I won an RSW title. Like literally, like 2 nights before, puking from food poisoning. 2 nights later, yeah, I got a new belt. I can also see you that match. You did that whole thing blind and have food poisoning. I'm like, yeah.
Oh.
Like for a wrestler. I love it. Waffle House will be my go-to after. On the road, depends. I'm always drinking tea, which is my downfall. I love tea. The sweeter, the better. It needs like 4 cups for every pint of tea in it, like sugar. I just need sweet sugar. I like now the Ghost energy drinks. The ones that taste like the certain cans of Swedish Fish ones, like Sour Patch Kids. Like those are really good.
I see those all the time and I want to try them, but I'm so not an energy drink person.
That's okay. I'm not much one either. Monster makes my heart hurt just sitting. So I said no. C4 looks literally, from what I've seen from my friends, look like carotene in a can. Like just straight up, they just go in and lift. I've seen people use C4 before they work out, like it's pre-workout, and that scares me because no energy drink should give you that much energy. So no C4 in my life. I've had Bang, but Bang tastes kind of disgusting. I don't know how Sammy Gavari drinks all them shits. But like, I don't get it, dog. I'm glad you like it, but I can't do it. But like, Ghost's like the only one I can drink without like, it doesn't like make my heart hurt. It gives me like a rush, but it's like, it's an Asian drink. I expect that. I need that. But like, usually, it's like the best thing to go to. That and like fish. The honey bun. Like a Danish, like something from like the gas. It's just something that's like something sweet. Like I just need sugar. I don't try to drink a lot of energy drinks, but I only drink energy drinks now on the road. Like if I know I got like a drive ahead of me, energy drinks. But if I'm just like going to work, coffee.
Fair enough.
It's weird.
No, I'm totally a sweets person. Like hook me up with any baked good, please and thank you. Like
it tastes good, make it have some sugar in it, I'll be just fine. I just need to get to point A to point B for today. Like I just need this.
So what is your favorite move to take and what is your favorite move to give?
To take?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck. There's not a lot of moves I'm like, fuck no to. I'll give you a list of moves I won't take.
Sure.
Never will take. I've taken a power driver, but I'll never take a Canadian destroyer. I would never do a Spanish fly, give or take. Don't care. Don't care who you are. No. Absolutely fucking not. I don't care if you're Cameron Grimes. I don't care if you're Leo Rush. I don't care if you're literally Ray Fink. I'm like, look, man, I'm not taking that bomb. I don't want to flip and then no, I don't want to. That doesn't seem fun for me. What else I don't know if I can take. I will take a superplex, but I'm not giddy to take them. I'm not really giddy to do the move entirely. But like, I'm like, all right. I mean, I get why we got to put suplex in here. Okay, it's fine. But someone's gonna be like, you want to do suplex now? I'm like, hell no. Let's do something else.
Like, is there anything else that I can do besides that?
My favorite move to give is ironically because how short I am. I love giving the Rainmaker. That move is such a fun move to give. Something like turn someone around, and as you're about to deliver the most godforsaken like lariat in your arsenal. Something about the face they make before they eat that clothesline, that lariat. It brings me joy to my short stack life. Just like, oh yes, this is what real power is. And I just lay it in there. That move is so fun to do. And once you can't heal everybody, it's like I know, which means like I hit them harder, which means it becomes a New Japan match. And I'll love them shits. Love them shits. Let me hit you so hard the sweat pops off like a mist of Triple H's mouth spray, spit spot, whatever. Let me hit you that hard. I'll let you hit me that hard. It'd be a great visual. Later on, it'd be great.
We'll get a great gif out of this. It'll go
Get
viral.
Oh my god. But no, I guess my favorite move to take would actually be not much of a move, but any lariat that I can flip bump off. Like the Rikishi bump, like it did with MV. Love that shit. Because no one thinks I can actually flip. I can't flip. I'm using momentum and inertia. Literally is happening. I'm using physics to make sure I get over. And I love doing it. That quick split second, I'm like, yep, I can flip. They're going to hit me hard enough. Lala did it. Perfect. MV did it. So I was like, yes, I'm going to flip off this. I can already see it. The math is complete. You become my favorite person to work if I can bump off your clothes up like that. Swear to God. If I can do that, like, I won't work here for it. Where you go. You could be the person who's dominating the match. If you hit me with that thing, boom, everyone's gonna pop. Now the match is in your favor. Congrats, kid, you're over. I promise you, it's such a good spot. It's such a good spot. I love taking that. Powerball is not that hard to take. It depends on who's giving them. Does that make sense? There's some powerbomb I wouldn't trust. Some power bombs I can take all day. I'm like, yes, it's easy. I think that's it. Like that bump and like the Rikishi bump, like them shits are fun. Anything else kind of sucks. Body slams are good though. Body slams will actually like release some like good pressure in your back. Like it's pretty good. If you land right, like if you land correctly, it's just like, oh, I never realigned my spine a bit. I'm feeling good today. Like
got pretty fucked up last night, but man, back
like,
feels great.
My arm's working now, and so it's fucky. I don't like taking cutters. I hate cutters. I do one. I used to, but like taking them are fucking just oof. Yeah. And everyone's like, I wonder why. And someone asked like, well, I wonder why cutters are not like that popular. And it's like because they're not that fun to take. I write you like 4 super kicks in a row before I like, oh yeah, in that spot with a cutter, that'd be so great. It looks so good. No, it won't. No, it won't. As soon as you said cutter, I was like, oh, this spot's right. I won't. I promise you. Oh my god.
Or you could reconsider.
or lariat.
Hear me out.
Give it a bit wound up. I'll flip. Perfect. I promise you. It was like, I don't know. I like that move. I like taking cutters. I love doing the Rainmaker. Such a fun move, especially if you're a if you're a short person, hit the Rainmaker at least once and just look of the person who's going to take that and be like, yes, I'm raining down hellfire and just let it rip. You're gonna feel like you're 6'7". I promise you, feel just gonna caught up. He's like, oh, this is great.
I'll feel like something, but I'm sure that ain't it. So, do you have any hidden talents?
No, I think everyone knows I can wrestle. Hopefully now. Um, Hidden talents.
Yeah.
I can write, but I don't like my writing. I've been told I'm a good writer. I just don't like it. I am the offspring of an English major who is an English teacher, so I can write. Um, I guess a special talent. It's not really special. Um, I'm a francophone. Technically, I spoke French as a kid. I speak English now. That's why I'm a lisp. Uh, when when you transition from such a young age, you don't have a good understanding. You can get like speech impediments because English is different from any other language. Like if I spoke German, I'm pretty sure I'd be fine a little bit. But French, I now sound like an American speaking French. And it breaks my heart because you can definitely tell when an American is speaking French versus a Francophone speaking French. Like Queen Aminata, she's a Francophone. She's from Africa. I can tell she can speak French. I sound like an American tourist, but I can still talk to her in French. But it's just, I guess that's a special talent. I can read Dragon from Skyrim, the Dragonborn language. I can read that shit. I know all the walls say I can read to you. Most of them are just stories, and some of them are just stupid hieroglyphs to put together. Some don't make any sense, but the word that you take from the game, like power, push, fire. That is, yeah. So I learned that one because that's a special interest with Skyrim. I can read Dragon from the game. That's a special interest. I don't know. I can't think of what else I can do. That's like
Those are all really cool things that I cannot do. So. What?
Very useless. Like who's like, yeah, they need you to translate this Dragonlance from the Skyrim game to save the world. It's like, no. I don't know. I could sound like Stitch. I could voice act Stitch. I could do Goofy a little bit. Mickey, definitely. I don't know. It's weird.
But can I hear it?
Which one?
Mickey.
Stitch? Or you want to hear Mickey?
Yeah.
Stitch? I can do Stitch. I'll do Stitch. This is Stitch
Okay.
because everyone loves that one better because everyone loves the scene of Ohana. I think it's the best scene. So if I want to sound like Stitch, all I do is drop my voice to like this, and then you can start Ohana. Like Ohana means family. Family means no one's left behind or forgotten. But if I change the voice to Jar Jar, I now sound like Jar Jar Binks. Like I can do that voice, and then I was like, what the fuck? And I take my pitch higher, I can sound like Mickey. And everyone's like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I know, it's weird as fuck. And in person, it's even worse. Like everyone's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Goofy is hard to do because I didn't grow up listening. I wasn't a Disney kid. I'll be honest with you. The only reason I know Disney is because of Kingdom Hearts. Yes, the video game. For anyone's watching, yes, the video game. Like, yes, like the thing with the Keyblade, like all that, I had that. I don't know if you can see that, but like it's literally just Mickey. Because my partner got me the action figures, so I love Kingdom Hearts so much. That's the only reason I know Disney characters. Not because I grew up watching them. Like I grew up watching, but I didn't get two shits. Mickey was. But until they wrote that Keyblade helped Sora and Roxas out in the video game, it's like, oh my god, Mickey's so cool. Who's this Donald Duck guy? Holy shit. Literally.
I'm so old.
Literally. And I love Kingdom Hearts. Like I love Kingdom Hearts. Love it to death. Love it. I cannot tell you what's going on in the game. Even though I played since I was like 4. But will I play every game that drops? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love that game. Love that game. That's why when I saw Ken Bandit on the Keyblade spot, I was like, this is great. This is what I wanted in wrestling. God damn it. That's all I want. I want to see some Sephiroth face off with Sora. And just like Kid Bandit could definitely be Sora. Dyed hair blonde. Really find like Funny Bone and beat Sephiroth before a day. And that'd be the fight. I'll pay to see that. I'm like, yes, this is what I want.
Oh, goodness gracious. What is the biggest animal you could take in a fight with just your hands, no weapons, and you can pretend it's attacking you?
If it was attacking me, that's actually a hard question. Because actually, that's not a lot. There's a lot of animals that can take me, and I know I'll lose. I think the only one I'm like I'll be fine with is a German Shepherd. German Shepherds are smaller, fine. Anything bigger than that, like a Doberman, nah, I'm taking the L. Fat L, fat old goose egg. Like, no, like I can't say horses because I've raised horses before. You're not taking those animals by yourself. You can't even break them by yourself. You can't like feed them by yourself. You can't clean them by yourself. I'm mentioning you won't fight with by yourself. So that's just logic there. Anyone who says something like a tiger, you're bluffing. Wink. You're bluffing. You like no, like you're not gonna take a tiger. Like just read what happened goes on in India. You're not taking on a tiger. Elephants will literally drag you from at your gravesite, at your funeral, in person while you're alive. Like they don't care. They remember. A kangaroo. We've all seen the video of someone getting boxed up by a kangaroo. And it's usually a female kid. You haven't, girl.
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying I wouldn't take a kangaroo. I've seen those. Oh, thank you.
Like those things can box for real. Like, and they're usually like women. Like the female kangaroos are usually boxing people. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of wild, isn't it? Like, no.
Yeah, I ain't gonna try and take on a kangaroo.
I can't think of any animal other than a German Shepherd and that one from that would be like, okay, I can take that. That's just I'm just trying to be honest. Like I'm not gonna say no bull. We've all seen AFB. We all see American Swinger videos. We all know what happens to any poor sod who decides to step in front of a bull. We just know. And by the way, people, bulls and cows are the same family. If people didn't know that, there's some people who did not know that.
See, I'm from a really small town and farming community.
You know
and
that.
Yeah, and like we have like a rodeo that I've gone to before. Like
there's people, when I tell people a cow is just a female bull and a bull is just a male cow, they're like, huh? I'm like, I'm not joking. They're the same thing. People don't know. People don't know. I was like, where do you think cows are coming from? When the last time you see a male cow? It's an oxymoron. It's like jumbo shrimp. That's not going to happen. You get a bull and you get a cow. That's it.
Yeah.
Some people didn't know that. People thought, I thought we just only see the female cows. It's like, no, you see both. You just put one in the pen and you put the other one in the pasture. That's the only difference. The only difference.
Like I said, being from a small town farming community, maybe I just take these things for granted that you just know these things. But apparently,
if you're from a small community, cows are aggressive. I don't care what anyone says on the internet talking about, they're just big dogs. No, they're not. They're not. You probably found a nice one. Most cows don't like people.
I mean, I ain't gonna fuck with the cow.
I'm not fucking with the cow. That cow is on his own. If that cow stood in front of my car and refused to leave, it's either I have to like just abandon the car, or we got to like somehow go around the cow. Like it's just gonna have to happen. I'm not moving the cow. Why?
You're just
the bull.
You're just gonna have to back up, turn around, take the next gravel.
Take the exit. You gotta do something. You're not moving that cow. Honestly, you can't. I'm telling you, you're not going to. Well, you heard cow tipping? That's not real. I tell people, you can tip a cow. You should be a Navy SEAL. Talk about you can tip. If you can tip a cow, well, me and my four friends did it in '84. Well, maybe you and your four friends should have joined the goddamn army. Talking about some goddamn fucking cows. I was like, no, you can't. No kid who's like my size is gonna get like 4 other people and flip a cow. You need grown ass people to do that. You need like powerlifters to do that. Cows are heavy. I don't. I go with fans like, I can't see how people do that. Like, you're
so what 3 wrestlers would you pick to be on your cow tipping team?
Honestly, okay. I'll pick my friend Beastman. You don't know who that is. You should come up because he's strong as hell. I will still pick Jonah. Yes. And then who else I'll pick? If to actually work. Fuck. I feel like Brody King would be a good pick. Something about that metal core strength. And he's been in mosh pits. I'm like, yeah, like that guy, he'll flip a fucking cow. Like, like yeah, he'll flip a fucking cow. It's gonna be nice. But like that's just I think that's it, honestly. Beastman, Jonah, and Brody King. And me at the smallest person, but like fuck it, I'll do my part. Like, I'll do my part. I just need a team.
So, what would you go back and tell a 10-year-old version of yourself?
Dude, people like you now. I legit say like people like they're like he probably like what do you mean? But I was like, no, I mean like random people like Aaron that love your work, they love that you wrestle. And I'm like, I wrestle? Oh yeah, you pretty often. You're also in college. I'm in college. like I think it would be one of those like Disney movie moments where you like the older character meets the younger character and you gotta like explain what happened between those years apart. Like, yeah, like real life, you made it past 18 and we go to college, you got a car, you got a partner. Like you see most of the Northeast is kind of wild now. He's like, it's just like you met Tommy Dreamer. Like, I met Tommy Dreamer. You met Tommy Dreamer. Like, like shit like that. Like, but like, I don't know. It'd be just, I don't know. I would be like, look, it sucks now, but it's gonna be better. That's all I'll tell you. It sucks now, but it's gonna be a lot better. A lot better. Like almost a 180. A lot better. Like, I don't know. That's all I'll say.
So, how do you take your pancakes?
Oh,
What do you like in them and on them?
Oh, here's the heat that you're gonna have with me.
Oh, you're not going to tell me what I think you're going to tell me.
I don't prefer pancakes.
You are telling me what I thought.
I am a French toast or a Belgian waffle type of person.
Well, waffles suck, but that's fine.
No, they don't. They're decent.
Waffles are classist.
That may be true. That may be true. But they're good.
Because pancakes, all you need is batter and a hot flat surface.
Yeah.
You could make it on a hot rock if you had the hot enough rock.
Yeah.
Waffles need a special waffle only appliance that you only use for waffling.
But but I'll also say that French toast is just poor man's bread. Like real French toast is poor man's bread. So I would say I may like a classist morning breakfast dinner plate, whatever you want to call it, but also like poor man's bread.
So I do love French toast.
Hey.
It is probably my second favorite after pancakes. So I can get behind French toast.
French toast. It's like, but I'll always most likely eat French toast before I grab a waffle. But if I do eat a pancake, it's usually just butter and some type of syrup. Usually I try to save the syrup I get from Cracker Barrel. Like, because they give the little bottles. Like we all, I don't care what anyone says, we're in Cracker Barrel, they give you small bottles. We all kept a few.
Emergency syrup stash.
Yeah, exactly. In case you're like, oh shit, I got pancakes. You know what'd be good with this? Some butter and some Cracker Barrel syrup. He breaks out the Cracker Barrel syrup and it tastes so good. That's the only time I really would eat like a pancake. If I knew if I had that syrup. Something about it. And I know people won't judge me, but see, it's Cracker Barrel, it feels right. I was like, I feel empowered when I walk in and they have to serve me. It feels good. It's like, you know what? I will deal with it. It feels good. It feels good. I will say it. It's like it's nice. And plus they got good food there. I'm sorry, but they do. They really do. I mean, it's better than Golden Corral.
Oh, Golden Corral is like, I would rather eat out of a dumpster.
We
I'd
right.
rather eat out of the Cracker Barrel dumpster than
You
eat out of a Golden Corral.
Taco Bell, you might as well try Waffle House. Let's be honest. Like,
So I've been to Waffle House. We don't have them here. The closest one to me is in Kansas City, which is about 2.5 hours south of me.
Kansas, Missouri or Kansas City,
Yeah,
Missouri?
Kansas City,
Okay.
Missouri.
All right. Because I know it's both.
There is, but I mean they're like right by each other.
I know.
Well, I digress. But I usually go with double hash browns, double bacon.
Ooh, that's not
Their
bad.
hash browns kind of slap.
They do.
They're
And
like,
if you're on a wrestling trip, try a Waffle House. It won't be bad. Just go when you're hungry. Don't go when you're thinking have a good day. No, go after a show.
go when everything else is like closed, when it's just like after 2 o'clock in the morning. You don't have other options.
I would say Waffle House is such a standard that according to the FEMA, if a Waffle House is closed, the hurricane is horrible. That's how consistent and reliable Waffle House. FEMA said if that's closed due to storm, you need to leave. You need to evacuate. It's literally in FEMA's guidelines. So if it's
the Waffle House Index.
yes. So if it's raining and a Waffle House is still open, it's not that bad. It may be bad for you, your neighborhood, sure, but like it's not that bad. Once that shit is closed, evacuate.
Yep, that is your fucking sign to go.
That is the sign. That is the go home spot. That is the national let's go home spot. 12 hours is closed. You gotta get out. Because I knew Tennessee was a wild place because in Tennessee everything closes early. I figured out when I went there, like last year and this year. And I was like, guys, I don't like this state. It's like, why? The Waffle House is closed by midnight? Blasphemous. Blasphemous. I was like, what's in Mississippi? It's open all day. You can get it at 4 a.m. and there's gonna be someone behind that grill cooking. Like it's legit.
It might just be one person.
It
there might be two.
It might be, but it's open.
It's open and it's available to you.
It's food. If it's like they closed everything by 10, I was like, guys, I don't want this state.
That's bizarre. That ain't right.
I was like, no, this is ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. Pancake. I'm more of a French toast type of person. But pancakes are cool. I will not shit on pancakes. It's just preference. Preference, I guess.
I really should start asking this question before I ask people if they want to come on my podcast, so I can just weed out the people that don't like pancakes right off the bat.
But I'm interesting.
You are interesting.
For a video game. How people don't say that? I say we're Friday. Yeah, I've been watching, Resident 86. I was like, I got a video game that kind of just catching my eye, you know what I mean? Like, I had to think it was that like, oh, I wasn't around in 86. I can't really say anything. Like, yeah, everyone hates me. If it makes you feel better, I graduated high school 5 years ago.
It doesn't make me feel better. I am old enough to where I physically could be your mother at this point. So
it happens to everyone. Everyone's like, what in the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. I can't. I know. I got into wrestling young. I was stupid. I thought I should have waited. I was like, oh man. I got into wrestling before I could legally own anything. Because at 18 you can own anything legally. So I got into wrestling before even I could legally own anything, have my own car, got into wrestling and wrestled before I graduated high school. I'm like, Lord, I need to stop.
You're gonna be a grizzled vet by the time you're 25.
That's what my friends are saying. They're like, you're gonna be around so often. It's like just be like, by 25, you see it all.
Back in my day,
we worked the headlock. It was like, what the fuck? But yeah, I feel like I don't know what's gonna happen when I'm 29, and it's like, yeah, I'm seeing shit.
I've seen some shit.
Been part of some shit.
The
I'm missing.
indie wrestling version of Dark Side of the Ring will come out about wrestle queerdom.
I've been trying to say that we need a dark side ring for indie wrestling, but we should do it by state basis. That's the season. You want to like everyone's like, what you mean? Like, do a dark side ring season, but it's all about Texas. It's all about Texas. Wherever crazy shit you can find about Texas, do an episode on that one. And that would be like a 10-part episode, wherever each episode would be a different scandal. Because I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy. And that's just Texas season. We can get up to 50 seasons, people.
I think there are going to be some states that aren't going to have a lot for you.
Vermont's not going to have a lot.
I would say I would be more worried about like Idaho.
Yeah.
And Montana.
More than 20 seasons. That's enough for things to be in what do they call it? Like rotation or whatever. Like as we played on television.
Like syndication?
Syndication, like The Nanny or Codename Kids Next Door or SpongeBob. Like, you just say syndication now. Like it's just
everywhere.
Like, it's just everywhere. Like Golden Girls is syndicated to the max. I'm just like, I love Golden Girls. But that show is like to the max syndicated. And it's just like, God damn, like that could be that could be wrestling. Because we have enough stories. And if you just want to do like a season of like what the drama of what big indies we're dealing with, that's enough. That is A1. That is enough. I cannot wait actually until like 10 years' time to get some crazy stories what happened to AEW. I just want to know. For every successful thing, it has to be some dark southern shit happens. It's wrestling. We both know this. For every successful show or like ant show, there's something that happened. Something that happened.
Every show has something that's like real fucked up about it.
Like real fucked up, like just something crazy. It's just be like, it's just I feel if they don't jump on that fast enough, they're not gonna. Then someone's gonna be missing out on a lot of money. It may take a year to do each season because of research and filming. But I'm telling y'all, do it. Do it. Be like Black Mirror and come on every 2 years for a new season. Do it. You're about to make money. You're about to make so much money.
So I just have a couple more questions and then can wrap it up. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It's been really fun kind of talking with you and getting to know you a little bit. I'm just so excited anybody wants to sit down and talk to me. So thank you.
I love doing interviews. That's the thing. Everyone thinks, oh, I don't want to do interviews. Like, oh man, media is cool to do when it's not like someone screaming or ear to table to say. Like, if you actually behave on camera, media is fun. If you can behave, media is pretty fun. Like, I was just fucking around, like, Lou, the Solotron's interview I did. Literally was just trying to say that, Effie's not bad wrestling. Effie's smart. Literally just said that. And then here I am, like, I woke up one morning and Effie mentions me by name. Not like ZEKE Mercer, but Zeke. And all you gotta do is look up he literally says the Slogotron video. So all you gotta do is just match the two names. My face would pop up. I was like, yeah. I was like, it's cool. Like, that never really happens or something like that. Or memes come out of certain interviews. Like I did also on Slogotron ZEKE Squad was a thing that we just made up because it was just stupid and it was hilarious. But like, yeah, and for ZEKE Squad. Yeah, it was like I should make shirts. So it was like, it will look like the Best Buy Geek Squad because I love those shirts because those were fun back then when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Geek Squad, right? But yeah, I love doing media. It's fun. I always do media.
So I'm gonna take you on like a little like journey. So just like hang out and just like take the journey with me.
All right.
So imagine that you're hungry and you want something sweet and you go to the store and you're like going down the aisles and you like go down the cookie aisle and you're like, great, I wanted something sweet. Cookies are delicious. I'm gonna go for the cookies. And you go down and you don't want like chocolate chip cookies or peanut butter cookies. You decide you want America's favorite cookie, which is the Oreo. So you go to the section with all the Oreos, and there's like a bazillion flavors, and you're like, I don't want any of these crappy flavor Oreos. No, no, no. I want like a regular like chocolate cookie white cream center Oreo. But then like you still have options because you can get like the thin Oreos, or you can get like the regular like OG standard Oreo. You can get like the double stuffed Oreo, or you can get like the mega stuffed Oreo. So like which Oreo are you picking?
Can I change the flavor of the stuffing? Is there options for like eat like because I wouldn't get like the basic double stuffed white cream. I would get if I get double stuffed, I would get the chocolate center.
Can
Those
you get that?
some places have them. There's doubled mint ones and some Walmarts I've seen, which I thought was a crime against humanity. I'm like, who the
Mint is
hell?
terrible.
That's why I think it's a crime, but you know, I don't make the laws. Good thing too, because I would make that like a felony. Like you eat that, yeah, go jail. Menace.
Yeah, no, I don't fuck with no mint Oreos.
But I would get the chocolate double foot, like double foot chocolate ones. If that was an option, I'll get those. If not, I'll just stick with the regular schmegular Oreo.
So, so if you're just going with chocolate cookie white cream center, you were getting just a regular single stuffed normal Oreo.
Single stuff, regular schmegular.
Well,
Trust it.
the unofficial correct answer to the question is a double stuffed Oreo. It is the correct amount of stuff to cookie ratio.
I don't believe that.
Excuse me?
I don't. Is it where I need some sources. Cite it for me. Is it APA, MOA,
MLW? No. APW? No.
I need something. Like I don't believe that one. I'm sorry. It's the perfect cookie to cream ratio. Is there even such a thing? I think I just made that up. That feels like
I might have just made it up, but you
that
didn't
feels
know
like
that. So
that feels like a gimmick. I was like, I don't believe that for real. Can't be. I don't believe it. But you know what? If it is, I'll take your word for it because I don't know anything about a cookie. I just eat them. I just consume them. I hope they're like FDA regulated. That's it.
these back alley Oreos here.
Yeah, right. So hopefully it's not as bad as the pink sauce. I just don't. I recently learned about the pink sauce and that blew my mind that happened. I'm like, what? People bought this?
I'll be honest, I've heard of it. I do not know the sitch behind it, and I'm just going to continue living in ignorance.
You're blessed not to know.
That's what I've gathered. I have enough things that frighten me on a daily basis. I don't need to add another thing to that list.
Yeah, pink sauce.
Nope. Just gonna erase it from my mind.
It's like Tabasco sauce. You put that shit on anything.
I put that shit on nothing.
I put that shit on.
So this is a question that comes from our VIP Vic. He's a longtime supporter of the Bald Monkeys in general. And when we used to do lives, he used to always ask this question. Now that we don't do lives, I ask the question. Who do you think has the best gear of all time?
The best gear?
Yeah.
Is it like subjective or is there like an objective?
No. Yeah, it's just whatever you think. There are many ways to go about this question.
I don't. For me, good gear is something you can wear whenever. Like whenever. You can bust it out, easy to put on, easy to take off, easy to clean, durable. And I will have to say, honestly, and everyone's gonna like look at me super fucking weird when I say this. But in my opinion, please put that like in quotation and captions around this segment. In my opinion, the Briscoes have the best gear. The Briscoes have the best gear. You could not tell me, not John Cena's jorts. No. Those are rip. The shit that they wear, I feel like it never rips. Like if anything, they probably just want a different design. but I'm pretty sure they have most of the same gear that they've had since like 2014. The Briscoe such good gear, and it looks so like it's breathable. It looks that it doesn't get in the way of anything. The movements, I was like, to me, it's like the best gear. Even though Okada's is definitely flashy, and I love his ring entrance and all that. A lot of early '90s wrestling in Japan had good gear because they were just like simple. But like, I don't know. I feel like a rip and nose would just ruin your whole fucking aesthetic. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the whole boots and just knee pads and like these cool like shorts. Smart. I'm like, yeah. Why not? Why not? Like, why not? Like, I was like, why the fuck not? You can wash these things. Like, I don't know if you know, but you can't just be washing gear. Like, you can just put in the washer and dryer. Like, most of our gears can't just do that. It'll get destroyed. But theirs, actually, you just put in the washer and dryer. That's a blessing. I mean, I'll take that. I had a choice. I'm like, yeah, my clothes can be washed. I'm like, shit. So I'll say the Briscoes. It's durable, lasts long. They probably have like 15 pairs of that gear in their fucking suitcases. Just to say they want to switch up. Probably in different colors. Before I know. They probably have a purple pair we haven't seen. Like, like, I don't know.
Special occasion gear.
Right, you know, they got the all white derby because them boys, you know what I mean? Like, they have to bust up the Daisy Dukes or something. I'm like, okay, the jeans joints cut up. This is gonna be great. They're gonna kill each other in 06. This is gonna be great. When Ric Flair wears white, you know he's gonna blade. I feel like there's this, if you pay attention, there has to be a certain pair of gear that they wear that they know they're about to have a freaking banger that night. Like, there just has to be. Like, there's just, I have to pay attention. Like, there's stuff like that in wrestling all the time. Like the Young Bucks, for example. When they're about to lose, I think Matt always loses his shoe. That's how you know about to lose. Yeah, the spot goes down, and I think it's Matt, because Nick's the one with the long hair, and he did that little magic gimmick of BTE for a while. Matt's the one with the back injury, and sold that for a year. Whenever he loses his shoe, they're about to go under. I promise you, watch every tag team match they ever had. No, not every. It started in New Japan. They went to Ring of Honor. Now it's in AEW. But if you watch it, you're like, oh yeah, Nick lost his shoe or Matt lost his shoe, and they lost. It happens every time. Like, those little tells. Like, it's perfect. I feel like the Briscoes have that too. There has to be like some kid that just was like, yep, that's gonna be a banger tonight, right there. I already know. they have the gear.
So where can people find you on social media? If you have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook fan page, Twitch, OnlyFans, TikTok, merch store, whatever you have, plug it all.
So bad. But I'm gonna save you guys so much trouble. Okay. If you guys want to follow me on anything, and I mean it, anything, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, literally just type in my name on Google. You want to find me on YouTube? Type my name on YouTube. You'll find me. You'll find my channel. I'm not even joking. I don't know what has happened over the course of 4 years to a point where my little sister typed my name, my wrestling name on Google, and everything related to that name popped up.
Nice.
My Instagram, my Facebook, my pro wrestling tees, articles written about me, videos I've been. If you do it right now, you're probably like, what the fuck? Yeah. Well, I think the first thing that pops up is my Twitter with my name and my pronouns. Like, if you want to do it right now, go ahead. It's weird. It's so strange that it happens. It happens every time. I tried my phone. I tried one of my school's computers. I tried one of my dad's computers, my dad's phone. It happens every time. Every time, without a doubt. I'm like, this is crazy.
I wonder if there's just nobody.
There's other people named Mercer, but if we just put those two names together, you will see my face on Google search. So if you want to follow me, type in, or probably Safari too, whatever. Wherever your search engine is, prefer, hopefully it's not Bing because it's 2022 and no one's Bing no more. Hopefully.
Note to self. No, I'm kidding.
Right. But if you type my name in, ZEKE Mercer, on the Google machines, you will find me. And you just did it. You just did to see all the bullshit. You like, oh, and they were a joke.
I was like, well, okay.
I bet the first thing you saw was my Twitter if you typed it in. Yep. Yep.
Do 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 do
Yep.
do do
Yep. Yep.
do do
You
do
covered.
do 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 do.
It's official, guys. I'm official. I'm Twitter famous, quote unquote. I don't know.
Do 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 do. I keep scrolling and I find all the rest of your socials.
Like, I need it. Like, if you just want to follow me on social media, just type my name in on Google and just follow me on whatever social media site you prefer. If it's Facebook, go ahead. I'll friend you. You at least follow my page, or Instagram. I don't really use Instagram that often, but I still have it. I still use it. I post a story once in a while. You probably see my travel adventures on my Instagram story. And then, of course, Twitter. Everyone thinks I'm like super active on Twitter. I'm really not. I'm not. I don't. I post, I make a comment, and I let go off. That's literally what happens. Like, if you want to follow me, go ahead.
I spend way too much time on Twitter.
I mean, I feel like at some point it's your job, though.
What?
At some point it's your job, like, because you're a podcast, you gotta like know who's popular right now. You gotta like figure it out.
I mean, I guess, but truly, when it comes to deciding who I want to talk to, it is literally who do I want to talk with? Like,
yeah, apparently,
like,
I just try. Look, I like doing podcasts. Everyone's like, "What do you want to do podcasts about?" Because they're fun. They're super. You can get in front of a whole new audience without taking a single bump. Do you want me to pass that up? Like, are we not trying to figure out how to take less bumps in wrestling? I guess not. I guess it's like a whole new thing. Look, let me tell you something with the bump card. Let me tell you about that. But yeah, if you want to follow me on social media, just type my name on Google. You will find me. I don't know why that is. I did not pay for it to be that way. I don't know how to pay Google other than paying for a Google service like music or something. Or I don't know how it happened. It just, people, I guess, have looked me up so often that Google's like, here, I know exactly what you want. Okay.
well, thank you once again for hanging out with me tonight. It's been super fun getting to talk with you. And, thank you for talking about Wrestle Queerdom. And just we were kind of all over the place and it was awesome. I loved it. So thank you so much.
You decided to talk to someone who's neurodivergent. This is what happens.
I appreciate it because I'm usually all over the place. So works for me. My brain is everywhere all at once. So but once again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been really fun. Everybody make sure to follow ZEKE everywhere you can follow them. Just Google search and
literally
it'll all pop up for you.
I guess I still say I don't know why that is. It just happened. So I just tell people, just look me up on Google, and it's been working.
Well, see, it's because more people are looking you up on Google and like clicking on those things. And
yes, I don't know what's happening. I guess I got popular somehow. I think it was Queerdom. I think that was it. I was like, it had to be Queerdom.
Well, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And make sure to check back next week when I have a new guest that I speak with.